Hi, this is Tim Mai. Welcome to day number 15 of the 1000 Deals in 30 Days Challenge. I want to congratulate you for making it this far. You did an awesome job. So, yay! You know, some people probably have dropped off by now, but you hung in there, and I want to thank you and congratulate you for that. Okay, and today we are in module number 3, which is how to structure the deals and find private money for your buyers if they don't already have private money in place. Okay, and today we are in day number 15, and day number 15 is about how to structure the deal. The sort of basic way of structuring these deals. There are many ways you can close on these deals, and so I'm just going to focus in on what is the easiest for you for now, since you're still new at this. I want to keep things as simple, as basic as I can. Tomorrow, I'm going to go in and share with you some advanced strategies of closing, just in case some of you guys run into the more advanced strategies, okay, or run into the more advanced situations. But for the purpose of today, I'm going to keep things as simple as possible, to let you guys digest it. So hopefully, after today, tomorrow, you'll be able to absorb what I'm going to teach you the more advanced way a little bit better without feeling overwhelmed. And there are two common types of closings. One is called a double closing, and the other one is called an assignment of contract closing. Okay, a double closing is when there are two closings. Right, double is two. Right, there are two closings that happens, and typically they happen on the same calendar day. In order for a double closing to be considered as a simultaneous closing, sometimes you hear that terminology, it has to happen on the same calendar day, especially if you're planning to use your buyer's money to fund the deal, fund the transaction. Okay? And so what a double closing is when the seller closes with you first. Okay? So between the seller and you, or the seller and the wholesaler, right? And then you turn around and close it with your buyer, a second closing. And typically in a double closing, you have double closing costs, and so there's more closing costs that happens. There's more cost to you that happens in a double closing. Okay? And in an assignment of contract, there's only one closing between the seller and the buyer. Between the seller and the buyer. Let me explain to you what the deed flow happens. Okay, so basically in a double closing, the seller deeds you the house, and then that happens in the first closing, right? And then the second closing, you deed the property to your buyer. So the seller deed the property to you first closing, you deed the property to your buyer second closing. So your name now goes onto that chain of title in a double closing. In an assignment of contract, the seller deeds the property directly to the buyer. What you have done here is that you have assigned your rights to buy that property to your buyer. So now your buyer has the right to buy the property, and so there's only one closing between the seller and the buyer, and the seller deeds the property directly to the buyer. So your name doesn't get into the chain of title in the assignment contract. And the assignment contract is what I want you to do during this 30 days challenge. It's because it's the easier, the more simple way to do it, and it's a more cost-effective way to do it. Okay? The only time when you don't do an assignment is when perhaps either you're making too much money and you don't want your buyers and your sellers to know how much money you're making, or because the person that you're buying it from won't allow you to do an assignment. An obvious example would be when you buy bank-owned properties. Banks don't allow you to sign their contract. So that would be an obvious example. However, we're not teaching about bank owned in this 30-day challenge. And so it could be that a wholesaler that you're buying from won't allow you to assign your contract, for example. And that's possible. It's rare that happens, but it's possible. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the different contracts and forms that you'll be using in this 30-day challenge. The first one that you've already learned about is the flex option, okay? And more specifically, a flex option to purchase wholesale deals. You can use flex option for different purposes, but the ones that you have been learning is the flex option to purchase wholesale deals. And then there's a standard purchase and sales agreement, which is the contract that that the seller and the wholesaler use. And there's a possibility that you might use this with your wholesaler if you end up doing a double closing. And then there's an assignment of contract, and all of these agreements are in the members area of Due Deals. And so once you log into the members area, and let me bring you here, and you click on forms and contracts up here, okay? Forms and contracts here, and it brings you up to this page here. And on this page, you'll be able to download your assignment. You'll be able to download your standard purchase and sales agreement here as well. Okay, and you'll be able to download your flex option agreements on here as well. Okay, so all of the flex option to purchase wholesale right here. All right, so you'll be able to download that there. Okay. So now let's talk about the current deal structure. The current deal structure is you have a standard purchase and sales agreement between the seller and the wholesaler. And then you have a flex option to purchase wholesale deals between the wholesaler and you. Okay? And you in this case is the wholesale marketer. Okay? So that's the current structure. The new structure, once you have a buyer in place, is you have a standard purchase and sales agreement. Remove between the seller and the wholesaler still, and then you have a assignment of contract between the wholesaler and you. And so once you have a buyer interested, you're going to convert your flex option. Notice how you have a flex option here. You're going to convert your flex option into an assignment. So the wholesaler assigns their contract between the seller and them to you to give you the right to buy that property now, and you're going to assign your contract, or then assign that contract again to your buyer. This is called a single closing with two assignments. Okay, a single closing with two assignments, and I'll explain more in depth on tomorrow's video here. I just want you to get an overview of what is involved here. And so once you have a buyer, okay, once you market you market your deal, and you have buyers that are interested, first, when they first contact you, what you want to do is you want to let them know whatever you know about the property. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, blah, blah, blah. It's worth this much. It needs this much in repairs. Whatever you know about the property, you want to reconvey that to your buyer. And whatever pictures you have for them, send it to them. Okay? And also, too, how are they going to go look at the property? You need to arrange that with the wholesaler. Find out if the house is vacant or if it's occupied. If it's vacant, find out what the lockbox code is, so you can send that to your buyer. In the beginning, I prefer that you actually go meet up with your buyers, just to get to know them, build relationship with them, because it's very possible that they will buy properties over and over from you multiple times. So you want to build that relationship as much as possible. And and so find out from the wholesaler how you can access it if it's vacant. If it's occupied, then find out from the wholesaler how to arrange a time where you can show these show the house to your buyers or show the property to your buyers. And normally the wholesaler will have to coordinate that with the seller. And so you coordinate that with the wholesaler, figure out a good time. Try to schedule as many buyers to come and look at the property at the same time as possible, because that creates that buyer frenzy, I guess, feeling for them. One time I had an open house where I had close to 40 buyers that came and looked at the property, and the sellers was still occupying the house, and it was really interesting. The seller kind of freaked out at how many people we sent to the house. But what I told the seller was that the house needed too much repairs for me. It was too extensive, and so I won't be able to close on the property and myself and buy it. So I brought in some people that can handle this this extensive amount of damage, amount of repairs, and so they they want to come in and see if they I want to send as many people as I can to see whoever can buy this property. And so that's what happened. But it's rare that you would have 40 buyers there looking at the property at the same time with the sellers there. Just want to share with you that story for fun. All right, so once they are interested, you are going to convert the agreement into your flex option to an assignment, okay? And also you're gonna tell your buyers that you're going to assign the contract to them. Okay, you're not going to double close it. You're just going to assign the contract to them. So you need to convert your flex option to an assignment, and you're going to get a copy of the original contract between the seller and the wholesaler. You get that from the wholesaler, so that way you know what they're assigning to you. All right, because when they assign to you, that means that whatever is in the agreement, in the original contract, you have to agree to that. Because you're taking over whatever that agreement is. So you got to know what that agreement is by asking them for it. You're going to then reassign your assignment over to your buyer. So now the buyer will need that original contract. Okay? And so you're doing 2 assignments here. You're going to collect $1,000 earnest money from your buyer. Okay? I want you to collect at least $1,000, especially since it's your first deal and you've never done business with this buyer before. Collect at least $1,000, and just say that's just how it needs to be done, right? Or if your wholesaler require a higher amount of deposit, then whatever that amount that the wholesaler requires you, that's the amount that you collect from your buyer. But if the wholesaler doesn't require you to put any earnest money down, then that's fine. You still want to collect at least $1,000 from your buyer. Okay? It depends on the price too. If the price of the home is higher, you want to collect $2,000 or even $3,000, depending on the value of the property there. But get as much as you can from your buyer. All right. Now, once you get all of those agreements signed, you're going to submit all of that agreements, all of that contracts to the title company. Chances are by now the wholesaler had already opened title with a title company, had already submitted the title to a title company. If they haven't, then you're going to need to do that. But chances are the wholesaler had already done it by now. Normally wholesalers will open title before they try to sell the property. And so, just turn everything in to the title company and proceed from there. Okay? All right, and so your homework for today is to go ahead and continue to market the property for sale. All right, so continue to market it for sale. And your contracts, your contest, we're still going to keep Module 2 contest for today and tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be the last day for Module 2 contest. So whoever has the most deals will get the most flex option will get a free cash buyers list from us. Check in the form for the rules there. So go to www.1000dealsin30days.com and click on members access, log in, go to the form, and get all your rules and contests. And also, all of the questions you want to ask, go ahead, feel free to answer in there. And I look forward to helping you in the next module.